Good afternoon on this Sunday afternoon. I hope everybody's Sunday is off to a blessed start. I'm getting a late start today, but better late than never. Before I get started, I just want to thank everybody who's been following me. Listen, you can follow me on YouTube at Troy Ramel Royal, and you can search me and pull up my videos. You can also go to my Facebook.com Choppin It Up Ramel page and check out my videos on there as well. You can also leave comments and post stuff too. Maybe there's some things that you may want me to address. By all means, please get at me. Hey, listen, this Sunday is going to be filled with a lot of NFL, but there's a couple of things that I need to discuss that took place yesterday before I get into the NFL. First of all, this has to be a little bit on the tragic side, man, but the great, legendary Bernard Hopkins' career just before the age of 52 has come to an end after last night's performance. When Bernard Hopkins started fighting 28 years ago, Ronald Reagan was president. All right? He's actually a legendary boxer. He's had a great career. He's taken on all challenges. He's won quite a few belts. Tough guy, a technician in there. He's entertained us. But this may have been a fight that he shouldn't have taken, man. No disrespect to Bernard in any form, but this might be the fight that he looks back on and wish he had not taken. He lost to a guy named Joe Smith out of New York. And it wasn't just a loss. I mean, actually, one of the scorecards had him win it. So it was probably a competitive fight, man. But to see Bernard Hopkins get knocked through the ropes and fall onto the ground outside of the canvas of the ring and not get up for a 20 count, it's not a way that any pro boxer should want to end their career. And, I have a lot of respect for Bernard Hopkins, but I hope at the age 51, soon to be 52, and 28 years of ring experience, I hope he decides to hang it up, man. The legendary Bernard Hopkins, man. Moving right along, like I said, it was a big day in sports. I'm going to have to touch bases on the NCAA men's basketball program. What a display of games that we saw yesterday. I didn't get a chance to see it. I've had some sources talk to me about it. First of all, UCLA, they continue to march on as they beat up on Ohio State. They're 12-0. I think UCLA is clearly a Final Four team, but I think when it's all said and done, they may have the opportunities to cut down the nets. And then what a game it was in Chapel Hill yesterday as University of Kentucky takes on North Carolina. No shortage of future NBA stars there, scouts everywhere. What a game that these people, the fans, the scouts, and those who was watching at home, what a treat that they see yesterday as the University of Kentucky hangs on to beat North Carolina 103-100. The guy Monk, he puts up 40, I believe it was 47 points. Justin Jackson from North Carolina puts up 34. The young phenom point guard from Kentucky, he also had 24. What a game that was. I was talking to a good buddy of mine named Jay Black. We was talking about Kentucky. Every year they have the top recruits and send so many players to the league. But during this Calipari run, they've only had one championship. And we both agreed that part of the problem is that they play in the SEC, and throughout the year they're not really tested. So when they get into the finals, or to the tournament, I should say, they're seeing some real talent. And because they haven't been tested along the way, it's been so easy for them that they're not really battle tested. And I'm going to say this, they've taken on 2 games this year. They lost to UCLA and they pulled out this one in North Carolina. But these are the type of games that even though this is a young freshman team or a young team in Kentucky, these are the type of games, win or lose, that's going to help them in the tournament because they're going to be battle tested. And when I say they're going to be battle tested now. They lost to UCLA, and they pulled this game out of North Carolina. So let's say they didn't play UCLA, but they played North Carolina. This could be a game that they lose. Because they played UCLA and was tested, this helps them in the game against North Carolina, if you can follow me on that. But what a game it was. Kansas, they continue to win. Butler, one thing about Butler, they're going to be competitive. They're going to always have 3-year, 4-year guys. They beat Indiana, pull off the upset there. Just a great round of action. Virginia, they win yesterday. So a lot of good action in the NCAA. And here's the thing, man. I know we're around Christmas time and so forth, man, but we're going to blink an eye. And next thing you know, man, we're going to be approaching March Madness, man. Just like that, man. So keep an eye on it. It's heating up. Like I said, UCLA, they're number 2 in the country at 12-0. I believe Villanova is still number 1. So we'll see what happens. But Kansas, they continue to win. A lot of good college basketball to go along. I think Lonzo Ball for UCLA is the number 1 pick in the draft. And if I'm Philly or Dallas, I'm setting my sights on him. Because it looks like those two might have the inside track on getting that number 1 pick. If I'm Dallas or Philly, I'm looking at Lonzo Ball, 6'6" point guard, freshman out of UCLA. He's gonna be that number 1 pick in the draft. If those two should definitely get the number 1 pick, if one of them gets the number 1 pick. But what a great day of college basketball yesterday. Now, it wasn't a great day for me. It really wasn't. Those who've been following me know I'm a Knicks fan. I'm a Jet fan. The Jets just look horrible. Another quarterback gets injured. Fitzpatrick comes in there. He looks no better. The defense, I don't know what is out there. They let Matt Moore come out there and throw 4 touchdowns. This is just horrible. On the bright side, keep losing, Jets. Keep losing. Because what happens here is you're just better in your position in the draft to have top players picked. I'm okay with that. You need to be in top 5 in the draft in every round anyway. We have so many holes and so many needs that having high draft picks is probably going to help us more than anything else. But what a performance, a pathetic performance of the defense. Again, to allow Matt Moore come off the sidelines and play in the absence of Tannehill and look like Brady out there. Yeah, he threw an interception, but he also threw 4 touchdowns, as the Jets was never in this game. This game was over at half. I mean, it's just as simple as that. But Miami, it's a good look for Miami. Miami now winners 7 of 8. They keep their wild card hopes alive. They're gonna have to continue to win out. They got Buffalo next week. They lost to Baltimore a couple of weeks ago, which if there's a tiebreaker scenario in that situation, that can be kind of, hairy. But Miami looking strong. They're peaking at the right time. A lot of respect for Miami right now as they're playing good ball. Good ball. I guess this is what Ndamukong Suh was envisioned when he took the surprise move and signed with the Dolphins, when I just knew he was looking to play with somebody like Rex Ryan or somebody like that. But this Miami Dolphins team is looking strong, man. I don't know all the players on the team, but collectively, they're playing as a team. And with Denver having to play the Patriots later today, then Kansas City and Oakland, I don't think Denver has a chance to beat out Miami for that last playoff spot. I think Miami gets in. And for those who root for Pittsburgh and Baltimore, you guys better play for the division. I don't see a wild card coming out of there. Looks like that wild card is either going to be Miami or Denver, as I said. And it's looking more like Miami. As far as the Jets, the coach seems to be safe for one more season. Maybe it's a good move. Maybe it's okay. I'm not sure. But right now, it's just pathetic over there, man. It's just horrible. The defense is a shell of themselves. Nothing is going on in offense. We don't know who's going to quarterback. It's just horrible, man. It really is. But if there's a bright side, we'll be having some high draft picks next year. Moving along to the NBA to continue my bad day yesterday. The Knicks, with so much promise, starting this road trip in third place, looking up. They start the road trip out with 2 straight wins. I believe it was Sacramento and LA. I just thought that everything was looking up. I figured they would, worst case scenario, be 3-2 on the way back. I never envisioned them to be 2-3. This is horrible for the Knicks right now. They're 14-13. Derrick Rose, this is why we can't re-sign him, but he shows why we need him. And I'm not going to say need him, but shows why we need another point guard of that kind of caliber, because this is a point guard driven league. And, Brandon Jennings is a good player. I don't know if he's ready to assume the responsibilities as a starting point guard, but let's say he is. We don't have a backup point guard. So having just those 2 on the roster and not having a third point guard, I don't know who didn't get the memo, because you can't depend on Rose to play more than 70 games. Why not have a third point guard on the team? That to me don't make any sense at all, not to have one and to have all these big men. And let me tell you something, man. Speaking of big men, would the Knicks have been better signing Dwight Howard than Joakim Noah? Listen, I was on board with the Joakim Noah. I just thought maybe he needed a change of venue, a change of scenery, get out of Chicago, maybe he'll bounce back. Man, this guy is an early bust, man. And we're stuck with him for 3 more seasons. This is horrible right here. $18 million a year for this guy. And I don't see anything. He's supposed to bring intangibles on the defensive end. This is another bad move that's going wrong for Phil. And this is on film, man. This is really on film. I don't know who is his agent. I wonder if it's B.J. Armstrong. I know B.J. is Derrick Rose's agent, I believe. But this is just horrible, man. And I bring up B.J. Armstrong because him and Phil has history. He won 3 titles with Phil. And maybe that's why Derrick Rose was able to get traded to New York, because of B.J. Armstrong. Listen, I'm in favor of the Rose trade. I'm just not in favor with re-signing Rose. Not while you have Chris Paul available next year, Kyle Lowry available next year, and even Steph Curry available next year. And you might even see John Wall be available in trade. So I'm not in a rush to re-sign Derrick Rose. But what I do acknowledge, we need a player like Derrick Rose. And those 4 people will fit the bill. Those 4 players will fit the bill. But what we're seeing right now, not having a third point guard on this roster to back up Brandon Jennings when Derrick Rose is not going to play, to me, is a mistake. It's a mistake. And somebody missed the memo on that. That's just poor judgment. Poor judgment. On the behalf of everybody on the management team over there, or coaching staff, or whoever factors in on what players should we keep on the roster. And we need to get somebody over there now. Because Derrick Rose is going to play 2 weeks and sit 1. He's going to play 8 games and sit 2. That's just it. That's his history. That is his history. So we need a third point guard over there. And hopefully coming back home, New York can get into their winning ways and secure home court, because on the road, this last road trip, and this is not even one of the toughest ones, to go 2-3 with the only team above 500 was Golden State. Just horrible, man. Horrible. Yeah, Carmelo had it going last night. KP looked like he had it going last night. But explain to me how Kenneth Faried can shoot 10 for 11 from the field. He's not no offensive juggernaut. Someone explain that to me. Moving along in the NBA and in the association, listen, I'll be remiss if I don't stop and point out what Westbrook did yesterday. 25 points, 11 rebounds, and 22 assists, man. Let me tell you something, man. I said it before in this show. The OKC Thunder are offensively challenged. They're offensively challenged. For him to rack up 22 assists is phenomenal. He is putting the ball in the hands of players where the shot selection is easier. He's giving them the opportunity to be successful, to make shots easier. What a phenomenal job this guy is doing, man. And you know what, man? I'm really running out of adjectives for this guy, man, to describe him, man. It's just the only thing left for him to say is find your way to the guard, please, man. Just find your way to the guard, please. But what a performance last night by Westbrook. And I couldn't care less who he played. Just the fact that he put up 25 points and 22 assists and 11 rebounds to notch yet another triple-double. Just incredible, man. Incredible. Houston Rockets continue their winning ways with James Harden. Man, what a tough loss for Minnesota in overtime. Again, Towns, he puts up 41 points, his second 40-plus point effort of the year. In this case, in a losing effort. Man, wow. What can you say about this, man? What can you say about this guy, man? Towns is, what's going on over there with Tibbs, man? Does it need time to gel? Is he the right guy? Do they need veterans? Do they need to make a trade? What's going on, man? Because at this rate here, if it doesn't turn around, you're going to have some people wanting out. And remember, Minnesota is not a destination where people are putting their hands up to go to. You may have to make trades to get somebody in there, man. So this is not looking good at all. It's not looking good at all. Golden State, they beat up on the Portland Trail Blazers by 45. What else is new? Chopping It Up with Ramel was on the road last night at Phillips Arena. Got to look at the Atlanta Hawks and Charlotte Hornets last night, man. It was a good game, man, but I look at the Atlanta Hawks, their best player is Paul Millsap, man. He had the quietest 20 points that you'll ever see, man. And something is missing from the Hawks. They need that guy that just says, They need that guy. Give me the ball. Follow me. Lead me. They don't have that player, man. They need that guy that puts the cape on and says, I'm Batman, man. They got a bunch of players that's playing like Robin and Batgirl over there. And the bad thing about that is that you can't be Robin or Batgirl if there's no Batman. They need someone to step up and be a Batman over there, man. There's too much talent over there. Too much is expected of them, man. Not to have someone to step up and be a Batman. In the meantime, Charlotte Hornets, they just used a balanced attack. Nothing spectacular, just to get the job done. Nice road win for them. Bellinelli, he came off the bench. He had 19 points. I'm watching him, man. He's playing like a Ginobili role over there, man. And like I said, it was just a balanced attack. It was a quiet Kemba Walker game. But they used a balanced attack, man. What's his name? Dwight Howard, he was controlling the boards. He had 23 points, man. 23 rebounds. Altered a few shots, man. But you know what, man? There's so many times I've seen Dwight Howard with the ball around the elbow, nobody on him, and wouldn't even look at the basket, man. This guy needs to develop some kind of jump shot from somewhere on the court, man. He needs to develop something, man. But anyway, I enjoyed the game for what it was, but Atlanta needs that Batman, and Charlotte, it's just a team that just needs consistency. It's got a lot of talent over there. Clearly, Kemba Walker's their Batman, but it just needs a little bit of consistency. Moving on to the NFL, you know what? There's some games going on right now. I think the one game to look out for is the Detroit and Giant game. So much is on the line. Detroit, one of the hottest teams out there, so that should be good. I think Philly and Baltimore is on right now. Green Bay is playing Chicago right now, which Green Bay is on the roll right now. They need to win out to keep their playoff hopes alive. And what team to start with is Chicago. You got Houston playing Jacksonville. They need to, win some games to keep their playoff hopes alive and trying to win that division. So you got a lot of activity going on. The game that I'm looking for is actually tonight, the 8:30 game, Dallas and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, one of the hottest teams in football. They have 5 consecutive victories. They're battling Atlanta for that division there. I believe they're chasing Atlanta by a game. It should be yeah, I think they're a game behind Atlanta. I may have to check on that one, but yeah. So it should be fun. A fun day of NFL action today. You got plenty of games on. New England versus Denver. That should be good. I think Denver is in some trouble. I really think Denver is in some trouble. With those 3 games left, I don't see Denver returning to the playoffs, man. And how often do you see a team that wins the Super Bowl don't make it the next year? It does happen, but I think this is what's going to happen this year. I don't see them getting in. So look for Pittsburgh to have a dogfight with Cincinnati. They need that game. They need it in the worst way. Philly playing Baltimore. Philly is playing for pride. Unfortunately, they're not in a position where they can get back into the playoff races, but they could play spoiler. Look for Baltimore and that to be a dogfight because Baltimore needs that win. So there's a lot of NFL action. We'll get back to that on tomorrow, but I'm going to close with that today. And you guys enjoy the rest to your weekend. And I look forward to seeing you guys in 24 hours as we chop it up once again. So peace and blessings, and y'all have a blessed day. This is Chopping It Up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat.
Chopping it up with Ramel. Chopping it up with Ramel. Chopping it up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. Chopping it up with Ramel. Chopping it